So I'd like to get going with our first career trek for the semester, sponsored by UW-Stevens Point. Today, our featured employer is Skyward, and I want to thank everybody for coming today, and especially want to recognize the UWSP career team that's on the call today. I'm Sue Kissinger, I'm one of the members of our career team, and also Brianna Burke is on the line, and Shelly Auer, and we are the small but mighty career team at UW-Stevens Point, ready to help our students out. I also want to thank our rock star Haley Carr, who runs the technology and everything behind the scenes for our career treks every week. And Haley's from up at UW Superior from their career services office. So thank you, Haley. We could not do this without you. There'll be an official registration link that'll be posted in the chat feature. For those of you that for everybody, we'd like you to fill this form out. Those of you from UW-Stevens Point, though, if you need pro event credit for this, you have to fill this out. It's just that we want to know where you're from, what's going on, who attends these events, so that as we move forward, we can plan and make sure we're outreaching to the proper students to come to these events. This is a UW system initiative. We used to do our own UWSP, and many of the other schools did our own employer networking sessions. But when COVID hit, we weren't able to get out and to get our students to go out to places or get our employers to come into campus. And so the career services directors got together and we said, you know, what if we all hosted something and allowed students to be able to network and connect with employers from all around the state? Because we all have our local employers that we work really well with, such as Skyward. And so this has been a great initiative. There's 13 career treks every semester, each hosted by one of the UW system campuses. And so we started last fall, and we did 13 last fall, and we're in the middle of that right now. So we're really excited about this. This initiative has been supported by UW system interim president Tommy Thompson, and it's been something that's been widely touted around the UW system. So let's move forward on this. Here's that official link that's being sent out. Please take time to fill that out. Again, it's required for pro event credit. And you can, these are being recorded, these career treks are recorded, and you can look at all the ones from last semester or the ones that have already been recorded this semester by going to the UW System Career Treks website and looking at past events. And everything is right in there so you can look and watch the recorded sessions for each of the employers. Next week, same time, same bat time, same bat channel, you can watch our next career trek, which will be hosted by UW La Crosse, and you can learn about careers with Organic Valley. There also is some live polling going on. You can answer this 2-question poll and let us know which school are you from and what year in school you are. And if you could please answer that and submit it, it really does help us know where to focus our energies during the presentation, and lets the presenters know who they're talking to. Also, this is a great way to network. And speaking of networking, if when you're with this presentation, if you're really excited about Skyward and want to know more about it, a week from today, right now, during this time from 1 to 5, UW-Stevens Point is hosting a career and internship fair. And I will put the link to the fair in the chat in just a minute. But Skyward is going to be there, and they will be hosting group and one-on-one sessions that you can meet and talk to Karen, or you can talk to Mason, and a couple of the other representatives will be there also, and learn more and talk more about positions that they have open. And this career fair is open to anybody. It's not just for UW-Stevens Point students. So students on this call who are from other schools, please feel free to register. It's all hosted through Handshake. So you can certainly come to our fair, register, and talk to Skyward. Do those one-on-ones, those little mini things where you talk about some potential for, okay, great. Thanks for doing the poll. Awesome. Hopefully that helps Karen as she's getting ready to present and everything. Thank you. So again, I'll put the information in the chat about our career fair. The student, you can click right on that and register for our fair. And please think about coming and talking to not only Skyward, but the other 50 plus employers that we'll be having at our fair next Wednesday afternoon from 1 to 5. So I think I've said everything I need to do. With that, I would like to turn this over. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to turn this over to my friend Karen and the crew from Skyward. So thanks for being here today, Karen.
Thank you, Sue. Let me just, all right, are we seeing my screen? All right, very good. Well, first of all, thank you, Sue. I really appreciate this opportunity. You know how much I love to talk about Skyward, so I appreciate you inviting us. So I am Karen Glinsky. I'm the recruiter here at Skyward, and I am part of—
Karen?
Yes?
Yeah, you're sharing your notes screen.
That's what I was afraid of. All right, hold on a second.
I was going to let you keep going with that, but you know.
Thank you, but I don't know why it's not letting me not do that.
Karen, that looks good now.
Now you're good.
Yes? Okay, see, I can't tell. Are you sure? No, I'm not, because can you see him now? You can still see him, can't you?
No, you're good. We can just see your slide.
Yeah.
Brian, are you lying to me? Brian, what are you doing?
I'm not.
You're good.
It looks perfect now, Karen. Absolutely. You can see that Karen really trusts me. We've done this a couple times.
I love Brian, but he gives me a hard time a lot, and I'm really not sure, you know, to tell the truth. Okay, we'll start over.
You're good.
I'm Karen. I'm the recruiter at Skyward, and I am part of our organizational development team. Mason Chikowski and Brian Hicks are both going to be joining me in a little bit here. Mason is our team manager in our customer consulting and support department, and Brian Hicks is a systems development manager in our programming department. So who is Skyward? We are a family-owned and operated school administration software company with over 600 very hardworking, talented people working in 16 different departments. So we have programmers, and we have a lot of programmers, but 2/3 of us are working in these 15 other departments as consultants and specialists and all different roles. So a lot of people think all we have at Skyward is programmers, and though they are very important to our business, we do have a lot of other roles as well. So what do we do at Skyward? So we develop, sell, and support school administration software. So we have two primary product lines. One is our student information system, and one is our finance and human resources management system. So what does that mean to you? Probably absolutely nothing. So I will explain a little what our student information system side is when you were in high school, your parents may have gotten online and checked your grades, your discipline, your attendance, paid some fees, put money in your lunch account, any of those types of things. And if they did, they used something, either they used Skyward or something similar to Skyward. And so that would be some examples of the student side. Our finance and human resource management system side would be what the school administration uses to, let's say, pay teachers, hire teachers, to do accounts receivable, accounts payable, and budgeting and purchasing and those types of things. So those are our two product lines. And with those two product lines, we serve over 2,000 school districts, and those are K-12 school districts throughout the world. Within those 2,000 school districts, we reach every single day 7.5 million students. And that is only students. That does not include their parents, the teachers, and the administration. So we have a pretty wide net of students that we reach every day. Where is Skyward? So we are very proud to have our roots here in central Wisconsin, right here in Stevens Point, since we were founded here in 1980 in our founder's garage or basement. I'm not sure which one, but depending on the seasonality. We also do still have one satellite office in Texas, in the Irving, Texas area. So why is Skyward in business? We are in business to deliver a better administrative software experience and to foster a more productive, collaborative, and successful environment for all of our users. So that could be the parents out there who feel more connected to their children's education, to the teachers who do less paperwork and spend more time teaching, to the administrators who, can do their job more efficiently and again with less paperwork and have more time to do what's most important, and that would be to educate their students. So when and how did Skyward come to be? I could tell you the story and it would not be even closely as entertaining as this video is. So I'm going to play a short video on when and how we did get started here at Skyward. So if you can't hear it, let me know, because I need to, let me see. There we go. I've got that done. Okay, here we go.
A Burroughs B80 machine, which was a mini computer that Burroughs provided. Not
does this. Hold on.
Not only the brewery, but also, as it turned out,
all right, we might be starting at
area public
in here.
Schools.
Right,
and while I was working at Point Brewery, the Burroughs salesman happened to stop in and sees me sitting behind the computer wondering what I was doing there, and he asked, what am I doing there? And I told him, well, I'm writing programs for the Point Brewery. And he said, well, you know how to write programs? I said, well, I better, because they're depending on me. He said, well, would you be interested in writing programs for other people that have a computer similar to this B80 that Point Brewery has? I said, by all means, I need to feed my family. He then introduced me to Merrill Area Public Schools. They wanted a salary negotiation system written on their B80 machine. Well, they decided to award me the contract. But we didn't have our own computer, so we had to use their computer, and they were nice enough to let us use their computer. So Cliff and I both could drive back and forth to Merrill blindfolded, because we must have done it 150 times in that 6 weeks. So we would work from 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 in the morning. And we offered to do a live demonstration for the superintendent and the business manager. And the Burroughs salesman was following this whole project, and he asked if it would be okay to invite the 55 other Wisconsin schools to come and see the live test, so to speak. And of course I said by all means, because we were looking possibly at having other schools buy our software. Well, of the 55 schools that were invited, only 3 chose to come to the presentation. Wrightstown, Tomahawk, and Watoma schools. That was the bad news, that only 3 out of the 55 showed up. The good news was all 3 of them gave me an order for that software. So that's how we got into the school business, and we're very fortunate to find that niche. Back then, we wore 3 or 4 or 5 different hats. We had to develop the software, we had to sell the software, we had to demonstrate the software, we had to market the software. So we had quite a few roles that we had to play, so there wasn't any time for rest. The first 15 years, maybe 20 years, just absolutely flew by. It was a fun time. Cliff and I think back on it very favorably. What has stayed the same is our relationship with our customers and our devotion to meeting their needs. The sky's the limit.
All right. Was everybody able to hear that? So next, I want to talk a little bit about our internship program. So our very first intern started in 1986, and that intern is in the picture here, and he is currently our CEO at Skyward. So since then, we have hired close to 300 interns, and over 150 of our current full-time employees started as interns. So with that, I'm going to play another video, and this is going to be highlighting some of our current interns, and they talk a little bit about what it is like to intern at Skyward.
You're not just getting a career when you come to Skyward, you're really learning how to develop yourself as a person. You're improving upon skills you may already have. I actually learned accounting here before I learned it in school, so you can definitely learn things here that you wouldn't expect.
I work in a smaller department, so we're really close-knit group. So I talk to every single one of my coworkers every single day. I go to my department at least once a week and say, hey, this is some new software, some new technology that I found. Is there any way we could incorporate this into my job or to help even save 5 minutes a day for everybody? And they will listen to any idea I have and are really willing to try new things and change and grow with the technology environment.
When I was an intern, the biggest thing I learned was how to operate within an organization. So that's the biggest thing when it comes to working in IT in a company, is understanding the big picture. Because we're not doing just stuff for our department. We literally have to work with every department in the company and make sure that they're functioning properly and they're doing everything they need to be able to do.
One of the things that really struck me about the developers at Skyward is what a diverse bunch of people they are. I've worked with people whose background is in wildlife management, theology. I'm a second career computer programmer. I was an elementary school teacher for a few years and also a college instructor. I really like the fact that you could take these computer languages and actually make them do something.
When I was in grade school, it was my goal to work for Skyward. I was in 5th grade and the teacher brought up Skyward and it was the attendance. And I was like, oh wow, that looks like really cool. Like, I want to make something like that. The rewarding thing is when you look back and see it as a whole, it's just awesome because you know you contributed to that.
Working in a high-tech company, it definitely is always changing because they're always trying to improve. I think my favorite part about what I do at Skyward is that it's constantly pushing me to be a better person, to learn new things, to go outside my comfort zone. And that's just been great for me.
Programming is like in high demand. So that was like my initial push to get into programming. The programming field, you learn every day something new. I definitely followed her footsteps in terms of selecting a major, but right after my first CIS course, I absolutely fell in love. It was just instant gratification to see your code at work and the output, so I really enjoyed that. When you're like stuck, you don't feel like on your own, kind of. That helps you feel like you're part of this, bigger picture. I remember when I first applied to Skyward, I didn't get the position. In my first interview, they said, what's your strength? I said persistent. So in my next interview, I said, see, I'm proving my persistence.
It's hard not to be blown away when you enter this environment. Everywhere you turn, there's very high achievers doing very high quality work. I'm a business administration major. I'll be graduating in 3 weeks. I recently received a full-time offer to be an account manager, and I'm ecstatic about that. That was really the only thing that I wanted to be doing at this point in my life.
For us and for me, I look at the interns as a critical piece to continue to build the culture that we built here as a company. We've got to make sure that we bring in the folks that have that high-level technical skill so they can make sure that they can continue to build those tools and resources that are going to help drive the future of education.
Okay, so as you saw in the video, we have internships in various departments. Some of those do vary from year to year, but we do have 2 internships that we have every year we hire for at least twice in our customer consulting and support internship. And those are like groups up to 15 people at a time, as well as we do hire in our programming department every year as well, up to 20 interns. So I'm gonna just hand that over right now to Mason, and he's gonna talk a little bit about our customer consulting and support internship. And when he's done, Brian Hicks is gonna take over and talk a little bit about our programming internship. So Mason.
Thanks, Karen. So my name is Mason Chikowski. Just want to give you guys a little bit brief intro about myself. I went to EBSP or started school at EBSP in 2014. I was actually hired by Skyward as an intern while in school in March of 2017. Was lucky enough to accept a full-time job offer in May of 2018. And then as of recently this November, I became our intern team manager in customer and consulting support. So as you can see, I had quite the career already at Skyward thus far. But a few talking points I wanted to bring up today was, what is customer consulting and support at Skyward? So Karen kind of had mentioned it in the intro. We have two softwares we support. SMS 2.0, so that'd be probably the version that most of you are most familiar with as far as tracking grades and stuff like that when you were in K through 12 school. And we recently released a new, well, I shouldn't say recently, it's been 5 years now, our new product line called Cumulative. So our customer consulting support department work with our customers first on the consulting of migrating from their legacy product, so the product they're currently using, to what will now be Skyward. So we really just have a lot of different conversations with them about the processes that they currently do, how we can kind of translate that into what will now be Skyward and how Skyward kind of works. And then in most cases, we're able to better their abilities with what they're used to being able to do in their legacy software, migrating into Skyward. And then the other part of our job is offering them the service. So once the site has gone live with Skyward, we really spend the time to answer any additional questions they may have, however complex or as simple as they may be. So we really just kind of make sure that we give them the best support they possibly can have with their different questions or needs or abilities that they have while using Skyward. So a lot of our customers, they kind of get the rundown right away when they first go live with Skyward. And then from there on, they have a lot of questions with doing certain processes or improving certain processes or whatever it may be. They reach out to us and we help them with that information. Specifically, what do interns do in CCS? So first week or two, you get to learn a lot about our culture and values. You get to learn about the tools we use to benefit our success for supporting our customers. And then you start learning our core modules. So we actually have one of our full-time module experts sit down with our new interns and teach them, we call the budgetary module. So you get some time to learn how the module works, how Skyward works, then kind of how to troubleshoot it or best assist our customers with questions and things of that sort. After that, you actually work with our customers just like a full-time employee would. So you get the opportunity to do trainings, work with them on calls, answering their questions, and really gain their experience. So as far as what would be different compared to a full-time person versus an intern, really nothing. Just you hear a little bit less hours than the full-time employee was. Obviously a bit less expectations, but for the most part, you're doing the same work, which I personally think something I found well through my internship was just that, doing what the full-timers were doing. And I got to be able to create relationships with full-time employees that benefited me moving into Skyward because we were doing the same job. We were helping each other to help our customers. So, as far as work life as an intern, you can choose to work between 20 to 15 hours a week during school. It's kind of a schedule of your choice. You let us know when you can't work, and then we create a schedule with the other interns when you can work. And then during breaks, so like summer break, Christmas break, and what's the other one? Spring break. You can work up to 40 hours, which is nice as well to kind of get that experience and obviously make some money too. As far as what you can expect, I think the biggest 4 things I have for really, there's kind of 5. Definitely problem solving skills. You'll be able to really learn how to, one, troubleshooting in Skyward, which I think really turned over well for me in school, to kind of think about things outside the box and really give it my best effort. The second most important one I would say would be communication and relationship building. I think the relationships that you build as an intern with the other interns, as well as myself, the intern team manager, and other full-time employees, truly, I think is almost, it's blown away until you actually experience how much everyone wants to help you out and benefit you and kind of create those professional relationships as well as even friendships outside of just Skyward. And then the last 2 be responsibility and team working skills. So we really focus on, we kind of give you, we give you the tools to do what's best for you. We're there to help you. So the team working sense, we're there to help and kind of get to solutions. But at the same time, it's nice to feel like you do have a set of responsibilities that you provide value to Skyward, our customers, and overall the K through 12 education space. And then with that, there's a potential for full-time job options after graduation. So the nice part is you kind of get the opportunity to, in a sense, interview Skyward, or we get the opportunity to interview you and see if we think you're a good fit to potentially give you a full-time job offer upon graduation. And like Karen said, I think the number was 150 interns have gone full-time. And then we've also seen a lot of our interns go full-time, hold, get into management and upper levels from there in a relatively quick period, just because of your ability through your internship to gain a lot of experience before even starting full-time and really understand our culture and things of that. Couple benefits to that is you get a higher starting salary than you would if you were if you were an intern first. So if you were just a full-time hire, we kind of compensate you for your previous knowledge already gained with Skyward. And as well as we prorate your vacation time. So you get to meet your 2-year allocation a little bit earlier and receive your 3 weeks of vacation a little bit quicker than a full-time hire would as well. So those are some big benefits. I will just mention quick, I did bring one of our current interns with me. His name's Sam Poole. We'll have him introduce himself after Brian gets to speak. You guys should kind of prepare hopefully some questions for Sam and what he's experienced so far with his internship with us. But with that, I will turn it over to Brian and let him talk about our programming internships.
Cool. Thanks, Mason. So welcome everybody. I'm going to echo a lot of the things that Mason said and kind of expand on them a little bit. I love this picture that's up here of some of our goofy interns that we have. The cool thing about this picture is 2 of the people that are in there just recently graduated in December and are now working full time. So that's exciting. That's our goal with our internship program. Next slide, Karen. So why should you choose Skyward? As a software engineer student, there's less of you than we need. We need more developers than we could possibly hire. So that's true of just about any industry. So you get your pick. So why should you come to Skyward? We are a software company. That's what we do. That's the only thing that we do. We don't sell insurance. We don't do anything else. We just write software. Some people say we're way cooler than Google or Facebook. I happen to agree. We don't have sleeping pods, but hey, we're still pretty darn cool. We do all of our software development in-house. We do everything ourselves. We don't contract out. Everything that we do, everything that we sell, we develop. This is a huge one, and this is really big for software engineers. We strive to give you a really good work-life balance. It's not uncommon for software engineers to work 50, 60 plus hours a week, including evenings and weekends. We do not do that. Our software engineers average about 42 hours a week. We're never on call. We really struggle. We really work hard to maintain a good work-life balance for you. As a 20-year-old, maybe that's not all that big of a deal, but trust me, when you get to be really old like me, it's very important. Yes, I am old. Very casual work environments, working from home and working from the office. We really don't dress too much differently, except I'm not wearing my pajama pants that I'm wearing right now at work. That's about the only difference. Free coffee, cappuccino, latte. We have these really cool, awesome, fancy coffee machines. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but trust me, it is a really cool, really big deal. They're at an awesome little central location on each of the different floors that we have, so it becomes a really good place to congregate and to talk. Once we're finally able to get back into the office, I feel really bad for all the new hires and interns that we've had because they've never seen their office. They've never seen their desk. They have no idea what it looks like. So super excited for all of us to get back into the office. One of the continuous learning. So for our full-time engineers, we're always continuing to learn. continuing to do conferences, and as well as some on-site and off-site conferences and trainings. We'll talk about a little bit of those. We do a really cool thing in the summer. We take 3 days and we completely shut down our programming department and learn and have fun. Karen, can you go to the next slide for me? So here's some pictures here from what we call our annual Insights meetup, or AIM. And this is an opportunity for us introverted, geeky software engineers to get together and have some fun. We play some bags, we do some kickball, and we learn. So this has been huge. We all really missed it in 2020 and can't wait to bring that back up in 2021. So that's a super exciting opportunity that's coming. If you look here, the team that took 3rd place is a team of interns. So of the 25 teams that we have, software development teams that we have at Skyward, one of our intern teams won this in 2019. So kudos to them. Next one, Karen, please. Thank you. So what is it like to be a software engineer at Skyward? It's team-based development. I've been at Skyward for 17 years. When I first started, I came to work, I sat in my cube, and I never talked to another human being for the entire day. I'm not kidding. I went the entire day and never talked to a single person. It is not like that now. It is an agile work environment where we work on teams. We have about 25 different software development teams made up of software engineers, quality assurance, state federal reporting, as well as product owners, and a UX department that is also on the team. So it's a group of people working together to solve the problem in an awesome environment that really creates good opportunities to work together. One of the cool things our building has is white noise. So we pipe white noise into the work area. That does a nice job of keeping down the extra noise around. It's not as big a deal on the 3rd floor where the software engineers are, but if you go down to the 3rd floor where the chatty CCS people are, it's like a world of difference. It's so loud down there, you can hardly hear yourself think. Sorry, Mason, Sam, had to chuck you guys under the bus a little bit here.
No.
Right? Am I wrong, Mason?
Oh, that's a fair comment. That's a fair comment, Brian. It's a little buzz going on the 2nd floor, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're a little quieter. It's all right. We really strive to continue your professional growth. So we have a professional growth plan in place. All these things I'm talking about are really leading me up to why you should pick an internship at Skyward, building you toward talking about what it's like to be a full-time developer. We have code quality experts. So one of the cool things we did several years ago was we took 4 of our best developers that we had and said, you know what, you guys aren't going to write code anymore. You're going to support the rest of our developers. A little bit terrifying, but in the end, it turned out to be one of the smartest things that we've done, and it's really allowed our developers and our software to improve. And then this last piece here, this has just been a huge growth spot for us in our learning and development department. We started this about 3 years ago, where we have a dedicated department towards the learning and development of our software engineers. As a intern at Skyward, you will come in, you'll be a part of this learning and development department. We have a full-time software engineer trainer, as well as a manager of that area. And their goal is to give you the truest experience that we can to be a software engineer. And Chase can talk to a little bit. Chase is a current intern that we have, so I'm going to give him an opportunity to talk a little bit about what his experience has been like here. But when you come to Skyward as a software engineer, similar to what Mason said about the customer consulting and support, you're doing real stuff. Our interns do not go sit in the basement and work on things that we throw away. they're doing real development that's going out to one of our 7.5 million students that use our software. So that means if you screw it up, it's really no big deal. It's just 7.5 million people that are affected by the thing that you messed up. So it's no big deal. No. Let's see here. Working on real projects. A little bit about our application process. So we were talking about this a little bit before all of you guys joined. Just for our software engineers, we get anywhere between 800 and 1,000 applications a year. We end up interviewing about 20% of those, and we end up hiring less than 5. That should not scare you away from applying. That should just give you more drive to want to be a part of this team. The people that you're going to work with here, not just in the software engineering department, but across Skyward, are some of the best. And I'm sure every company says that, but our numbers kind of show that. We're hiring less than 5% of the people that apply. We're getting the best of the best. Our application process can sometimes be a bit intimidating. Once you get your application in, the first thing we're going to send you is an assessment. It's 3 programming questions. Answer them the best that you can. The goal of those is for us to see where you're at in your development. And as an intern, we look at this a little differently than we would a full-time developer. We know that as interns, you're at a certain point in your schooling, and we know where you're at in your schooling, so we can make a judgment based upon the results of those. Piece of advice that I would give you for that assessment. This sounds really dumb, and people look at me like, well, duh, I'd never do that. Don't submit an answer that doesn't make any sense. So if we asked you to add up a whole bunch of positive numbers, Sean's laughing, do not submit a negative number, right? I don't know what kind of crazy new math there is out there, but there is no way you can add up a whole bunch of positive numbers and give me a negative number. I'm telling you, people, I've seen it. It happens. There's a reason it happens, and Chase knows why it happens, but he's not going to tell you because you have to figure that out yourself. Don't be discouraged. I applied 3 times before I finally got into Skyward. Persistence, as Anika said, be persistent. Don't give up. Through the interview process, we'll give you as much feedback as we can to help you be ready for that next opportunity. Our goal for our software engineer interns is to turn you into a full-time developer at Skyward. That's what we're looking for. We want to give you that full experience, not only for us to see how you perform, but also for you to see what is it like to be at Skyward. As Mason said, this is an opportunity for you to interview us and see if this is the place that you'd like to stay for the rest of your career. Okay, I'm done. That's probably the fastest I've ever done that. So that's good. So Mason, should we open it up to, maybe you want to start out with a question for the 2 interns, and then we can see if anybody else has any questions?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Can we do this first? Sorry.
Go ahead. What are you thinking, Brian?
Let's have Sam and Chase introduce themselves and give them a little bit of background.
Perfect.
How's that sound?
I like that. Yeah. Sam, am I going first? Perfect.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sam Poole. I recently graduated in the spring of 2020, so last spring, from Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. I majored in business administration and finance, and then I moved to Stevens Point area to attend UWSP MBA program in September, and I came on as an intern here at Skyward in the consulting and support department in November, and just recently accepted a full-time job offer to start as a rep in March. I was in your guys' shoes not even a year ago, wondering what was my next step, what I was going to do. And many people already have internships under their belt. Many of my peers did, and that was kind of intimidating to me. But I was just really excited to come on here today and talk to, maybe the people who don't have internships under their belt, and just be a resource for you guys, any questions you might have and anything that I might be able to speak on to help you with. Coming from Missouri, I think it speaks volumes to Skyward's emphasis on diversity And, really, I just can't say enough about this internship. So any questions you got, I'm glad to hear them.
Sweet. Go for it, Chase.
Great. Yeah, and I am Chase Matzinger. I am a software engineer intern at Skyward. I started this past June, so I've been here for about 8 months. And right now I'm a senior at Oregon State University, so I'm planning to graduate and go full-time with Skyward pretty soon, which I'm really looking forward to. My original degree, I actually started with a bachelor's in English education, which is why I was kind of interested when I was transitioning into computer science to get involved with a company that supports teachers and schools. So I thought that was really interesting, and I'm just excited to be part of a company that really makes that work easier for people. But yeah, overall, it's been a great experience, and I'm glad to answer any questions people have about it.
Sweet. Thanks, Chase. I guess, Brian, do you want, I will open the floor up to anyone attending that's any questions for Chase or for Sam. Otherwise, Brian and I came up with a couple of questions as well we're going to throw their way, but I'd like to hear any questions you guys may have for them.
So there is a question in the chat that says, what was the biggest reason for choosing Skyward for your internship? And this came from Anthony.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I'd say its involvement with schools and the fact that it's software focused on schools was a big draw for me. I'd say that was the biggest reason before I knew much about Skyward for me to be actually interested in it was the main draw. And then after I learned more and sort of like checked out their career page and met some people from Skyward, just the general atmosphere I really liked. It was a company that seemed to really care about making sure that employees supported each other and cared about each other's development and growth, and also just like a nice relaxed atmosphere where I feel like, I'm working with people who like care about me beyond just like whether or not I'm getting the work done, right? So I'd say overall, those were the two biggest draws for me.
What's up, Anthony? I think the biggest thing that led me to choose Skyward was when I first moved to the area, I was asking around networking within my program, trying to find out, places I should apply for. And I kept hearing the same thing about Skyward, and that it was geared for younger professionals, and it was a very collaborative work environment. And so everything in my interviewing process and my training, held true with that. And I think it is the main reason I'm here to stay.
Please feel free to type any questions you have into the chat as we're going along here, and I'll make sure they get asked to the proper people. Thanks.
And just to continue on a little bit with what Sam and Chase said, one of the things that I absolutely love about Skyward, when I started, there was, I think, either just under, it's around 300 people when I started. Now we're up around 600 and something, Karen, 650, something around those lines.
650.
Through that process, we've moved into our new super fancy, awesome building with shades that go up and down and white noise and lights that automatically come on. So it feels like this, really corporate-like cool environment, but it's not. It's really, really homey. It's really down to earth. There's no reason that anybody couldn't walk into our chief financial officer's office and ask him how his golf game is going or anything like that. The doors are always open. And I've worked in a corporation before. This does not feel like it at all. It's very, very down to earth, very family oriented.
And I guess a follow-up to that I have is, if students are interested, can they schedule a time? I mean, right now maybe with COVID, that's not possible, but as far as checking the place out, I mean, can they do that?
We would love to give more tours, and that was kind of a plan that I was trying to get before COVID. So I'm hoping afterwards that we can open it up to, obviously anybody at UWSP or anybody, in the state who would want to come in can definitely contact me once we're taking guests again. And we love to show our building off. I've taken groups of students through, and I always see that they're just really amazed by the building, and mostly they look like, I always take them to the 4th floor, and that's our executive wing, and that's where our CEO and our president are. And they always come, if they're there, they come out, they shake hands, they talk to the students. And I see a lot of surprised looks like, wow, the CEO is going to talk to us. And like Brian said, it's an open door policy. It is, you wouldn't, if you run into our CEO or our president in the hallway, you wouldn't know you were any different than Brian, Mason, or I. So we're very proud of our building and of, our company, and we would love it. So once, I'm going to try to probably maybe work with you, Sue, or someone over at UWSP once we can show our building off again. We'd love to.
I toured it, and it's just a great, and I just felt comfortable there. It's just a great environment. It's really wonderful. We have a comment in the chat that says, I'm a non-traditional student at UW Eau Claire and work full-time at our local school district and use Skyward every day. I love it. Thank you for all you do. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Teresa. And another question from Patrick. What languages do you program with?
Chase, what are you working in most?
Yeah, primarily C# is what we do the majority of programming with. There are some teams who work on front end and do a lot more work in terms of JavaScript. And there's also some work on the database side, putting together SQL queries. But by and large, mostly C#. The nice thing as an intern, you kind of get to work on projects from a variety of teams. So you get to see sort of like work on the sampling of languages that they work with compared to some full-timers who have sort of like a much more specific range that they're working within. But for the most part, C#.
Thank you.
And just to take that a little bit further, in working within a proprietary framework that Skyward has developed, one of the key things that we want to make sure that Teresa can talk about, we want our screens and everything to look and function exactly the same, whether you're looking at your list of students or your list of teachers or wherever you are in the system, it should look and feel and function the same. So we do that all within our own proprietary framework that we'll teach you.
So Karen just posted the application link online. I do want to remind you, they will be at our career fair, and the link is now live that I posted in the chat, or you can go to Handshake and look at UWSP for career fairs. We have one this Friday that is for the Health and Human Services area. And then we have our traditional career and internship fair next Wednesday, again, from 1 to 5. So please feel free to join us for that. Any last minute questions, folks? Karen, do you have a couple last minute things you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to, can you see the careers page up on?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to share our skyward.com/careers page is where you can go to see any openings we have, be it internships or full-time opportunities. I do want to mention that I do post on a lot of other platforms that include Handshake and Indeed. And if you do apply through those platforms, we do not get your application. I state that in the postings, but a lot of people just don't read it, I don't think, or pay attention. So please do know if you are interested, go to our careers website and fill out the application through there. I also wanted to mention that we have virtual tours of all of our different departments on our careers page, which is kind of a neat thing to look at. And we do have a careers quiz, and that is a handful of questions that you answer. And at the end, it will give you the top 3 departments that your answers fit out of our 16 departments at Skyward. And it's kind of a fun thing to do because you might get a department that you didn't even know, first of all, existed, or that we had at Skyward, or better yet, that you might fit into. So I just find it fun to do that. And, you don't, need to do the quiz by any means to apply for anything, but it is, it's a neat thing. So I think that was all I really had. Brian or Mason, did you have anything else?
We have a question for Chase.
Yep. Okay.
A few questions in there.
Okay. We're running out of time, so let me get these last couple questions in. So Yoon says, I'm a CIS student. I'm wondering if you could briefly explain, Chase, how you prepared for applying for the internship. Did you have work experience in the IT field?
No, so mostly just experience from my classes, and I was applying for the software developer internship, so more focused on the programming side. But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing when it came to preparing was just really reviewing the concepts from my object-oriented programming focused classes, since that's the foundation that they really look for in terms of candidates.
Thank you. And then the last question, oh, question's already been answered in the chat. Thanks so much, Karen, for replying to Bailey there. So there's lots of opportunities that are posted out there. Please make sure you check their careers page, check Handshake for job postings. I'm going to wrap this up right now by thanking the folks from Skyward, Brian, Karen, Mason, Chase, Sam. Thanks for all being here. You did a wonderful job. And remind you that next week, UW La Crosse, Molly's here from La Crosse, I know, they're going to be sponsoring Organic Valley. 2 o'clock next week. You can register on the Career Treks website. These are all events posted in Handshake. Also, this recording will be out there no later than Monday, and you can watch it again if you'd like, or look at any of the past employers that have been here. Thanks again so much, everybody, for coming today, and have a great week. Take care, folks. Good luck.
Thanks, Sue.
Yeah.
Yep. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.